Well then, we are back here for Formula 2. Welcome everybody to the next round of the 2022 GP4 Formula 2 season. Actually, I forgot which number it was, but anyway, I am Dennis Graf, also on Germany, and I'm joined today by Joseph Willows. Hello Joe, how are you doing?
I only just about heard you there, Dennis, with your robotic voice, but yes, I am here. I think Rob's unavailable for today, so hopefully Rob will be back tomorrow. But it is for me and Dennis, the same commentary team that we had at World Champ Car. But hopefully we're in for a good qualifying session. It is the first time since 2020, if I'm not mistaken, that we've had a feeder series race here.
Yep, indeed. Of course, it's been 2 seasons since we've been here with the feeder series. Of course, last time. I don't want to talk about this for certain reasons, but anyway, I think without further ado, we can start qualifying.
Oh, okay. Rob's unavailable for 2 weeks. Okay, that's fine then. Well, I guess it'll be a different commentary for tomorrow then. Anyway, yep, let's get on with it then.
Yeah, I think he's in Switzerland.
Yes, he just mentioned that in the stream chat. Bright and sunny conditions for qualifying. No rain expected.
Yep, indeed.
And I think Rob needs to remember about the graphic for starters, because I can still see it on the screen.
Again.
Yeah. Good job I've got the stream up. There we go.
Yeah.
It's now, the graphic's now gone, so that's all good.
And of course, last time out, where was last time actually? I have, but sometimes very often goldfish.
Silverstone was last time around, and well, it was an interesting race. It's fair to say. Excuse me, I had a bit of a cough there. I apologise for that. But it was Tobias Kress who won last time out. After what was it was a pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was mechanical difficulties for a certain Hento Sinonome at Silverstone last time out, which has meant that his championship lead has been slightly cut by Jafari Blackwood, who moves up to second now in the championship, and Sinonome will be looking to bounce back here at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, also speaking of VARs, it was a very lucky time for this guy, Santino Andreoli, because he was in the lead but then suffered a mechanical problem which forced him to pit, but he's finished second nonetheless. So also, by the way,
go ahead, sorry, I'll hold my point for a moment.
No, you can go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that the VARs this season seem to be running into a lot of mechanical problems this season, whether it's Andreoli or Sinonome. So, yeah, it might be a little bit of a worry. Who knows?
Yeah. Also, what I just noticed is that we have different sponsorship on this track.
Yes, I am aware of this.
It's quite nice.
I am aware of this because Flo actually sent us a photograph in the Sign Up Decisions group of these changes that he's made. Basically, he's tried to modernise the track essentially to 2022 standards, really, and it looks pretty nice.
Yeah. Of course, the group, which I, of course, am not part of, not yet. We will see about that. But anyway, also we have some news, because if you have not seen it, the F2 sign-ups are open, and we will see one team change, and I think Joe can tell us something about that.
Yes, indeed, because, well, after a run of poor performances, really, Prema Racing will be put... Excuse me, that's the worst time to get a cough there. I apologise, I was talking about some important news. Apologies there. As I was saying, Prema Racing, after a run of poor performances over the last few years, are going to be pulling out of Formula 2 at the end of the season, which I think it's safe to say, Dennis, came as a bit of a shock to a lot of people.
Yeah, indeed. I only noticed that because in the sign-ups I just saw some new team, which we will, of course, tell you in a bit. But, of course, I just noticed a bit later that it was Prema who left, which is very big shock. Of course, Andreoli is currently on his lap, but yeah, I think we can tell the people if they didn't have seen it yet. which team will join F2 next season.
Yes, indeed, because, it's kind of ironic we're here in Germany because a certain German driver first made his mark on the karting scene with this team. Tony Kart, anybody who's not familiar, they'll be making their debut in Formula 2 next season, but rather than being entered as Tony Kart, because that would just sound a bit weird on a Formula 2 venue, they'll be known as Tony Grand Prix for next season, as we've got a yellow flag at one of the cars, and it's KO
China!
Yeah, so that's his session over.
Failure.
A mechanical failure, so that's problems for him. Luckily, that wheel is off the racing line there.
Yeah, but unlucky for him, he won't take any further part in this qualifying. That means he will start from last, or at the left suspension just gave way.
Yeah,
right
I think
there.
The front left suspension is the one that's come loose there, and that is Charles Chinat's session done with. And it's Tony GP that will be entering next season, taking the Prema racing name. Still an Italian team though, so no change in the nationality. But they'll be making their debut next season. On top of that as well, we've been referring to them as Uni Virtuosi for the last few seasons. Well, they're not going to be called that, as finally we're getting the Uni name from them. I think we were meant to get rid of them in 2022, but the name still crept about during the sign-ups there, so they will be just known as Virtuosi Racing next season, will Uni Virtuosi. But that's only really a minor change. Obviously, the big one being that Tony GP will be making their debut next season, as Keo Chanet's a spare car ban is currently being implemented.
Yeah, indeed. So that's China's session. Unfortunately, run and done. Now Tilsley goes into 8. Oh god, I think with this track, I just noticed something, or remembered something. The Dunlop curve.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a pain, as we noticed, because some drivers like to slow down a little bit through into there, and it creates these massive gaps. But hopefully, as the session wears on, we should hopefully have the gaps reduce.
Yep. Meanwhile, Sinome got to the top, ahead of Blackwood. Ironically, the top two. The standings are the top two in the session. So Broster is 13th. Arnold goes 3rd. Interesting.
As Proxy goes into 6th position there, Bavona 16th. Crest now goes into 5th, the winner of the last race at Silverstone. James Sturt across the line, he goes into 14th position, and they are the first runs done with, of course, because we're only going to have 21 runners in this session, and it is the current championship leader, Hento Senonome, at the top by 5 tenths of a second. But given that Dunlop hairpin can be a little bit dodgy, I think hopefully we'll see those gaps reduce as the session wears on.
Yep, indeed, because at no other track except maybe at wet Spa, I would say, you will see those huge gaps.
Yep, indeed, as everybody, of course, is now heading into the pit at the end of this lap as he now makes his way into the left-right chicane. Prazan and De Oliveira, they're heading their way into the pit lane. Hopefully there's not much chaos in pit lane as we speak, as Cerezia now makes his way to the pits. There is Jafari Blackwood, who's now up into 2nd place now in the driver's show. Ironically, the top 2 in the championship are currently on the front row of the grid at the moment, so yeah, that's kind of ironic. Whether it stays like that, though, for the remainder of the session, we'll have to wait and see, of course.
Yep, indeed. That's how everybody comes back to the pits. Also, one thing, I like the Paulaner Spezi at there. That's nice.
Yes,
was it
indeed.
A German drink?
Okay, I'm not too familiar with that drink, if I'm honest, because I don't think it gets sold here in the UK. But anyway, as Zorbach now then makes his way to pit lane. Speaking of German drivers, currently in 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, but it's safe to say the last 2 races have been a bit of a disaster for him for various reasons. I think actually for the same reason, really. Well, in fact, Spielberg, he looked to be off the pace, and at Silverstone, I think if I'm not mistaken, he got damaged during the race, which cost him some very high points.
Yeah, he was in the running for a podium in the beginning, but then he just got smashed into at, I think it was Brooklands, by Aaron Curtis or Alex Broster. I think he had contact with both. I know that.
Yes, indeed. It seemed like he didn't like the Camposes for some reason. But anyway, as Santino Andreoli is now making his way out onto the racetrack, As Andreoli, of course, got a podium last time out at Silverstone. I think it's safe to say, after what has been quite a shaky start to the season, yes, I did say it, so you can drink a shot on that one if you want. Unless you're under the age of 18, then don't. But anyway, as Andreoli, I think it's safe to say now he's starting to pick up some form again.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, he finished 5th in Austria, I think.
Yes.
And then, of course, in last race he was unlucky, but still lucky that that mechanical failure didn't end his race. So it only cost him, I would say, 7 points.
Indeed so. Sorry, you were saying? I kind of interrupted you there for a moment.
No problem. I was just finishing.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, just going back on the topics of the sign-ups, of course, for anybody wondering how long the sign-ups are going to open for, they'll be the same as it has been the last few seasons. It'll be open for an entire month, so 30 days, really. So when it will close, it will be closed because it opened, let's not forget, it opened on Saturday, didn't it? So that would have been the 8th. So it will close on the 8th of May next month. So you have a month to sign up to Formula 2. And also edit your choices if you feel that your choices that you currently got aren't what you actually wanted in mind. But anyway, back to the action now then, as Santino Andreoli is about to start his next lap now then.
Yep, over the line goes the Frenchman.
Or is he
There's
going to
someone
get
coming out of pits. It's Oliveira, I think.
Yep. It is the Oliveira. He's the one with the green and white livery for ART. I know that Kirby's got blue and white as his livery, but I think he's got enough of a gap to the Oliveira, so hopefully he doesn't catch up to the Brazilian throughout his lap. And we'll have to see how he approaches the Dunlop hairpin, of course, but we'll have to see if he gets impacted by that hairpin or not. But let's see what his first sector looks like compared to his personal best now then. And he is down by 0.8 of a second, so it does make you wonder if the Oliveira did actually hamper him a bit there into turn 1.
Yeah, I actually think that he did, let's say, impede Andreoli a bit. Also, third stayed in the pit speed-wise. Now he goes. He's slowed down a bit there, but
yeah, he did take that a little bit slowly there, but I don't think it would have mattered anyway because his lap got impeded on the first sector there. So yeah, that's pretty much that really. As Andreoli now then making his way towards the left and right-hander down there, and I think obviously this lap is in the bin for the Frenchman, but we'll see what his middle sector is like regardless though. And yeah, 1.6 seconds off in that middle sector. So I think De Oliveira's him coming out of the pits there, I think has definitely affected the Frenchman here.
Yep, unfortunately it did, as goes through the NG car chicane. Then into the final corner, the Coca-Cola curve. Then onto the pit straight. And goes the line, and yeah, of course, 3.8 seconds off.
Prazan, meanwhile, is up on his personal best, meanwhile, and he's already passed that hairpin. So let's see what Prazan can do then on this lap. It's still going to be way off, and he goes into 16th, just under 2 seconds off. Oscar improves, but still only in 20th position. Blackwood down on his personal best, currently on the front row at the moment with Hento Sinanome, as the Jamaican now then comes across the line, and no improvement, stays in second place. Sazonov doesn't improve. Sinanome not able to improve on his current pole time, as Tilsley crosses the line, but only into 19th position. 4th place now for Suto, as we now look at Joe Pedro Kirby in the second ART car, as he's also got a Prema close behind him. No improvement for Kirby, no improvement for Kulazek, as we now look at Adam Chobot in the Trident now then, and no improvement for him at this stage. Sereznia in the second Dams car now then, he's making his way into the final corner, as the Polish driver, the 2021 DTM champion, crosses the line. No improvement for him at this stage. Dorback doesn't improve. He stays, where is he at the moment? 12th. No improvement for, I think that was Curtis that just crossed the line there. I was only able to briefly see the colour of the car there. As Protziuk crosses the line, no improvement for him. Same with Arnold. Broster is up on his personal best and goes 16th for the moment, as we now look at De Oliveira, who's down on his personal best. He was, of course, the one that impeded Andreoli's lap.
Yep, indeed, as goes through the final corner onto the pit straight, and let's see how far he's off. He goes actually to P8.
He actually found some time. some time in that last sector. Bavona, meanwhile, goes up into 12th place in the Premier League, gets in front of Nicholas Zorbach. Here is the Silverstone winner, Tobias Crest. Across the line he goes, no improvement, stays where he is at the moment, which is P6 at this moment in time. I think these runs done with. I think everybody's got a pit indicator, but it is still Synonome at the top of the timing screens.
Yep, with Blackwood in second still, and behind them we have the two Charus drivers, with Arnold and Stuto, and Sazonov completes the top 5.
Indeed,
of course.
Indeed, so Synonome, of course, still yet to get a pole position in 2022. Not sure if he's had a pole before, and I'll quickly double check that whilst I'm here. As let's have a look if he has had a pole. I presume he has. I might be wrong on that. And yes, he has. He actually took 2 pole positions last season, so he's looking for his third feeder series pole at the moment. But whether he can hold on, of course, in his remaining 17 minutes, we'll have to wait and see.
Yep, of course, we have to wait and see on that. Expect Stir to go out very early in the next run, as he stated in pits.
Indeed, as now we will wait for the third runs, I should say, to happen. Of course, Keo Shane is not taking part for the remainder of the session. Of course, whilst we're waiting, might as well remind you as well that we will have the pilot episode for the GP4 OC News tomorrow before the practice session at the Hungarian Grand Prix. So do look forward to that one, as De Oliveira now then makes his way into pit lane in the ART Grand Prix car, as he will soon. He's currently 8th position at the moment. Teammate Kirby is currently down in 19th position. But so far this season, it's fair to say ART have actually had a decent season. Currently in 5th place in the team's championship.
Yeah, so far for them, it's been decent. Of course, they have some experience, not in this series, not for the drivers in this series, but in general, of course, for both Kirby and De Oliveira, it's the first season in Formula 2. But they're doing a good job so far, especially De Oliveira, who has, as I mentioned last time out of Silverstone, the least experience of everybody in this grid. So they are doing quite a good job.
Yes, indeed, as Andreoli is back out on the track. First, once again, it should be pointed out, but he'd be hoping this time his lap doesn't get impeded by the ART of Bernardo De Oliveira this time around, and he'll be hoping that this hairpin is... Yep, or someone else on that occasion. They'll be hoping he can hook up that hairpin better this time by. Currently in 11th place, so just outside the top 10 at the moment, is the Frenchman. His teammate Synonome currently on pole position at this stage, but we'll see what the AlphaTauri reserve driver is able to do on his third flying lap here at the Nürburgring, as he now makes his way down towards the flat-out right-hander before making their way into the chicane. And now making his way towards that chicane now then, the Frenchman, as he flicks it in through the left and right-hander now then he goes, before making his way towards the Coca-Cola curve. I'm still surprised that that's actually still called that, to be honest with you. But anyway, as now Andreoli comes down the pit straight as he starts his lap now then. Now, is there going to be any traffic this time by? Just keep an eye on the right-hand side to see if a car appears or not. And it looks like Andreoli is in the clear on this one. So, Andreoli is going to get a clean lap on this occasion. Sazonov just starting his lap now then, as for some reason we're deciding to go away from Andreoli, who's currently on a lap at the moment. As here he is, so now he makes his way through the left-hander, and we'll see if he goes up on his personal best in the first sector this time or not. As he comes out of the corner, you can take it wide through there for some reason. It seems that the officials like to take a wider line through into there, but he's still down his personal best by 0.2 of a second, but we'll see how he hooks up this hairpin pretty soon.
Yeah, indeed. Also, one thing to notice, Flo just put in the chat, there will be an announcement of about 30 minutes. I don't know what about, but we will see. The hairpin for Andreoli look quite solid. As by the way, it will be one good thing for Andreoli. De Oliveira stayed actually in the pits.
Okay, I'll be interested to see what that announcement is. I've got a feeling what it might be, but yeah, I think I'll hold my judgment on that one when we get there. As he's now found some time in that middle sector, but he's still a second down on Synonome in the middle sector. So let's see if he's still able to improve now then, as he makes his way into the left-right chicane through the left Then into the right-hander now then we go, as Santino Andreoli making his way towards the Coca-Cola curve. Is he going to get himself into the top 10 now then? Let's say Andreoli onto the pit straight and across the line will go the Frenchman. Does he go to the top 10? He definitely can. He goes up into 9th position, gets in front of Protsiuk as
Nice
well.
gap.
So 9th place there then for Santino Andreoli, as we now look at Andrei Sazonov now then in the Virtuosi. He crosses the line, no improvement for him at the moment. Jafari Blackwood, also not an improvement, currently still on the front row at the moment, is the Jamaican driver. Through into the final turn and onto the pit straight now then he will go, as Blackwood now then crosses the line in the dams, no improvement, stays in 2nd place. James Sturt across the line, he will go in the Campos now then, and he goes into 11th place, finds some time in the last sector. Kulizek, he doesn't do that, he stays in 7th place, as Kirby's up on his personal best. Can he keep it up? He can't, lose his time in the last sector, and remains down in 19th position. Aji Prazan across the line he goes, no improvement, stays where he is, as Joseph Federic Suto crosses the line, doesn't improve. Oskan goes up to 6th, a big improvement there for the Swedish driver. So Sinanome still not able to improve on that 1 minute 33.797 as Chobot goes around the chicane there, as he's currently down on his personal best. I'm not expecting him to improve, but we will see, of course, as he comes out of the Coca-Cola curve onto the pit straight, and Chobot across the line he goes, and no improvement, stays where he is. Jake Tilsley across the line stays in 21st position. Broster doesn't improve either. Alexander Arnold is currently 3rd at the moment, looking to do well after what has been a frustrating season so far for him. Stays in 3rd place for the moment. Seresnia doesn't improve. Curtis, no improvement for him. As now we look at Bavona, who crosses the line, no improvement. Here is Nicholas Zorbach in the car lane, no improvement. He stays in 15th position. As now we look at Tobias Kress in the MP Motorsport. He's going to cross the line now then, and he stays in 7th place for the moment now then. So the Silverstone winner staying P7 at the moment, as we wait to see who's next to cross the line now then. That'll be Protsiuk. He does not improve, and he stays in 11th position so far. And it's been a bit of an upside-down season for High Tech Grand Prix, it's fair to say, being down in 11th position, being down in last place in the team's championship. And, well, how could it have gone so wrong for them?
Yeah, after, of course, last time out where they have absolutely smashed it out of the park. But this time it doesn't seem like something is going right. Then they're struggling in almost every race. And yeah, this is currently not looking good for them if they want to have a shot and retain their title. It's definitely not looking good.
Yep, indeed. As Bavona now then making his way around the right-hander now then before approaching the chicane. As now Bavona through the left and then into the right-hander he will go, as he now makes his way back into the pit. So far it's just been a pretty torrid season for Agatina Bavona, currently 14th at the moment, and in the championship he's only 19th at the moment, which is a bit of a contrast compared to the performances he was putting in last season.
Yep, for some, that was actually not going too well after the successful last season. Not just for drivers, also for some teams, speaking of high-tech.
Yep. As Bavona having to wait before he can get back into his garage there, so creating a mini traffic jam there in the pit lane as we speak, as we look overhead down towards the pit lane at the moment. More cars coming in.
Look at the podium. Look at the sponsors there.
Yep, Andreoli is back out onto the track now then, as the Frenchman now then, once again, not wasting any time and going out on track first of all for his 4th flying lap.
To be honest, I expect at least 2 more runs here.
Yep, as of course, obviously they have a maximum of 15 here in Formula 2, as you can see on the depth panel on the top of your screen there, as Andreoli will be starting his lap quite soon now then, as he now makes his way towards the left and right-hander now then on the racetrack, down towards the hairpin he goes now then, out of the turn before making his way down towards the Dunlop curve, as you can see a lot of grandstands down at that part of the racetrack now then. Flicks it in for the right-hander, as taking it a bit slowly on the warm-up lap, but hopefully it's up to speed by the time he actually starts the lap. Up through the Schumacher S now then, flat out through there you can take that corner, as he now makes his way towards the left and right-hander on the racetrack. So flicking it in for the left, then into the right, then goes the Frenchman, as now heading his way down the hill before approaching the flat-out right-hander. He will soon approach now, then through the right he goes, as he'll now make his way into the left-right chicane. Under 8 minutes to go now then in this qualifying session to determine the grid for the F2 race here at the Nürburgring tomorrow. As now Andreoli is about to start his lap here at the Nürburgring.
Yep, going out to the final corner onto the straight. Let's hope that he doesn't get any traffic at pit exits. It's looking good for that. He can push in free air.
Indeed, as now Andreoli through into the first corner there, using quite a bit of tarmac on the outside there before making his way around the left-hander now. Then he goes, as now Andreoli goes in towards the left and right-hander on the racetrack now, then flicking it in through the left, then into the right he will go now, then using a bit of exit there, then using a bit of exit tarmac. Let's see what his first sector looks like compared to his personal best, and he's 2 tenths up on his personal best, but of course we need to see how he hooks up that hairpin, of course. So Andreoli up at the moment, as now he makes his way down the hill towards the right-handed hairpin, which has caught out a few people at the moment, which is why we've got so many big gaps around here at this present moment. But looks like no issues for Andreoli on that occasion, as we look from the tip of the nose of Andreoli's Van Amersfoort racing car up through the Schumacher S, now into the very medium speed left-hander and the medium speed right-hander now then. So you can take a bit of curb on that outside as he now comes towards the end of the second sector now then, and he is only 70 thousandths up, so he actually lost a little bit of time in that middle sector despite the hairpin not being too much of a problem for him now then, as he now makes his way into the left-right chicane now. Then he goes through the left, then into the right, clattering the curbs as much as possible before he makes his way towards the Coca-Cola curve. Let's see if he can still be able to improve now then. Andreoli out of the final turn and onto the pit straight, and Santino Andreoli crosses the line and he loses time even more in the last sector, and he remains down in 10th position. Pavona starting his lap now then, as we look at Andrei Sazonov in the Uni Virtuosi racing car. He crosses the line and he does not improve. Zorbach, no improvement for him either, as we look at Javai Blackwood as he comes around the Coca-Cola curve. Blackwood across the line now, then we go. No improvement. De Oliveira, no improvement either, as Cal Kirby's also up on his personal best, as now Kirby is now going to cross the line and he goes into 15th place. Sturt loses time in the last sector and remains in 12th position, as now we look at Jose Federic Suter, who now crosses the line. He's up on his personal best but loses time in the last sector and remains where he is. I also think the Coca-Cola curve could be a bit of an issue as well, as Chobot improves to go into 15th position. Kulazek across the line he goes, and no improvement for him, as we now look at Hento Sinonome now then. No improvement for him either, as we now look at Aji Prazan in the high tech. He crosses the line now then, and he does not improve. Tilsley across the line, he improves but stays in 21st, still 2 seconds off a Sinonome at this stage. Curtis across the line, he stays in 13th position. Unlucky for some, it should be said. Oscar, no improvement. Protsiuk, no improvement. Sereznia up on his personal best. Let's see if he can keep that up. Sereznia across the line, and he can. He goes up to 10th, pushes Andreoli outside the top 10 once again. Broster, no improvement for him. As now we look at Agatina Bavona in the Prema now then. Through into the left-right chicane he goes. He will now make his way into the final corner, the Coca-Cola curve. Now through the final turn and onto the pit straight goes Bavona in the Prema, as he now crosses the line now then and does not improve. Zorbach up on his personal best. Can he keep this up across the line? He can, but only into 14th position at this stage. So still only P14 for one of the home favourites. Arnold, the other one, still in 3rd place at this stage. And they are these runs done with. And I think we're probably going to get one more lap here, Dennis.
Yep, absolutely. I think some will actually miss out on the final flying lap, but I think the most of the guys will get a final lap in. Yeah, we have to wait and see who that will be.
By the way, the Coca-Cola curve is also an issue. I just noticed because of the speed some cars take into the corner. Some go with 100 and some go with 125 into the corner.
Oh.
So it's
yeah, I thought it was.
maybe I can fix it at some day. But
Who
yeah,
knows?
maybe I'm
As
lucky and I can fix it.
maybe, well, we'll see. As Synonym now then back in the pits, and as mentioned, we're probably going to get one more flying lap in. As he's currently still on pole position at the moment. Whether he can hold on and get those 2 bonus points, we shall wait and see. If he does do that, of course, then he would increase his lead to 8 points in the Drivers' Championship ahead of Jafari Blackwood, who is still yet to get a victory at the moment, is Blackwood. So the fact that he's keeping up with somebody who's already got 2 victories to their name in 2022 is quite a good achievement for him. But of course, we'll wait and see how that one kind of progresses, really, as it looks like Andreoli is not going to be first on track this time. It's in fact the man we were just talking about, Jafari Blackwood. Can he potentially try and grab pole off a Synonym here? We shall wait and see, of course.
Yep, we have to wait and see. But also, what I have to say, despite the issues, that was a great lap from Sinome still. No one's even able to get close because of the issues. So yeah.
As more cars now make their way back out onto the track. Whether all of them will before they get to the 1 minute 33, I highly doubt. As now De Oliveira out on track, he'll get one more flying lap in. Anybody else going to join him or not? Looks like Cress will also get one more lap in. He's currently in 7th place at the moment in the MP Motorsport. Curtis, I think he'll just get out in time, so he'll get one more lap in. Same with Joe Pedro Kirby, just about in time for him there. And I think that will be it. I think they will be the only guys that will be able to get one more lap in. Sturt, I think, has just missed the cut there.
Yeah, that will be very, very tight with Sturt. But now Blackwood is already on his way to the chicane. The chicane, of course, which forced the 2020 DTM race to be a non-championship race, which was a shame. But now let's move to Blackwood's final effort in this session.
Yep, indeed, as he now makes his way onto the pit straight now then, as Blackwood starts his lap, as he now makes his way down towards first corner, as Tilsley comes out onto the track, so maybe Blackwood might get impeded here by the Carlin car, who's just trying to get some mileage in, but he is a little bit far away, but we'll wait and see how that one kind of fares, as now coming out of turn 2, there we go, and then into turn 3, we'll go Blackwood, as I thought for a minute there he was locking up, but that was clearly my eyes deceiving me there a little bit, as now Blackwood makes his way towards the end of sector 1 now then, and he is down on his personal best by a second, so maybe he did get held up by Tilsley, I'm not sure, but anyway.
We could actually take a look at the cars going over the line, maybe. Let's see if who will make it and who not. Curtis over Kirby will be close.
As Kirby across the line, does he make it? Only short. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Pit indicators come on, so Kirby just missed out there. So Curtis is the last car to cross the line then, out of the guys who are doing a lap at the moment. As Blackwood now then, obviously we know he's probably his laps down the toilet, thanks to Jake Tilsley in front. But anyway, we'll still keep on him regardless though, as he's down on his personal best by 1.5 seconds. Flat out through the right-hander he goes now then, before making his way towards the left-right chicane on the racetrack now then. As he flicks it in through the left, then into the right, using quite a lot of curve there through into that part of the track, and now into the Coca-Cola curve now then. He will go through the final turn and onto the pit straight now, then goes Jafari Blackwood as he now crosses the line, and no improvement, he stays in second place. Can he stay on the front row though? That's going to be another question. Andreoli, last lap for him now then, the Frenchman into the Coca-Cola curve he goes now then. As out of the turn, can the Frenchman find anything? I don't think he will. He crosses the line and he stays in 11th place. Arnold just getting some mileage. Sazonov out of the final turn. He crosses the line now then, and he does not improve. Chobot, can he improve? He's up on his personal best, but can he keep it up to the line? As Chobot across the line he goes. No, he can't. He stays in... He stays where he is, which is P17. Not exactly great for him. De Oliveira stays in 9th place for the moment. Tobias Kress into the final turn he goes in front of his home fans now then. Crest now then out of the turn, down the straight and across the line. He will go, and he does not improve. Curtis, the last one to do a lap. He's not on an improving. He's currently down in 15th position, and he stays 15th. And that's that then. So Hento Synonym, as a result, is on pole position for tomorrow's F2 European GP.
Yes, indeed. That was a great effort from him. He got lap at the first round. Very early Norwalk to win it. So yeah, congratulations him. He gets 2 bonus points for the pole.
Indeed, so that means he now has an 8-point lead in front of Javari Blackwood in the Drivers' Championship. So Cinnamon will definitely be happy about that one. Can he potentially get his 3rd victory of the season tomorrow and maybe extend that lead even more? We'll have to obviously wait and see, of course, as we just wait to get back onto the menu screen, hopefully. There we go. And let's have a look then. So, on pole position then, for the first time this season, it will be Hento Cinnamon with Javari Blackwood in 2nd. Alexander Arnold will start in 3rd with Joseph Edric Suto 4th. Andrei Sazonov in 5th. Samet Oskin is in 6th, followed by Tobias Kress in 7th position. And then in 8th position, we will have Wojtek Kulizek in 8th. Bernardo de Oliveira starts in 9th with Kaiser Resner in 10th. Santino Andrioli is in 11th, and you can do the rest there, Dennis.
Yep, in B12 we have Ruslan Potsduk, James Sturd with start from 13th with Niklas Sobach in the end in 14th. Aaron Curtis with start from 15th on the grid with Argentino Bivona in 16th. Adam Chobot with start from 17th with JV Kirby in 18th. Alex Broster and Agi Posan sharing row 10 with 19th and 20th respectively. Jake Tildesley will start from 21st and Fong Chanok Chao China will start from last after his suspension failure.
Yep, indeed, and that is the qualifying session here at the Nürburgring. Obviously, we had some very big gaps across the field due to the complexity of the Dunlop and Coca-Cola curves, but hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a problem when it comes to the race tomorrow. It's not usually anyway for these cars anyway, but hopefully it should be a good race here at the Nürburgring tomorrow. Of course, it will still be a different commentary team because, of course, Rob is unavailable for the next 2 weeks, so that's why you won't be hearing Rob's voice for quite a while. But anyway, that has been it then, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. So thank you all for watching. Of course, we'll have the top class tomorrow as well, along with Formula 2, both at different locations. The top class over in Budapest and F2 over at the Nürburgring. But until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. I've been JW97. He's been Dennis Graff, and we will see you next time.
Yep, see ya.